Nigeria's economy has a way of making you super talented and creative in the kitchen, and this is where this recipe came from. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So guys, one of the things I'm tired, I can't lie. It took me about 2 hours to be able to do this voiceover. I feel so lazy doing voiceovers recently. In fact, I've always felt lazy. I just try to do them, but at this point I really wish I can have a substitute. I'm also lazy at typing, and even if I say I want to use captions, I would still have to voice over them and converse. So anyways, I just need another substitute. I'm really tired. Anyways, thank you for listening to my rant. Back to what we're doing. So I'm cutting my beef. Of course, this is budget friendly, but how to spice it, you have to get a way to spice it so that it's easier to, or you're enjoying it and don't get tired of it. So I'll be using some chicken. Hell good. I'm using some beef, guys. I'm using some beef. So I made sure I got my beef for 1,000 naira at the market. I just decided to slice it up. If you have sliced beef already, it takes up all the stress for you. But other than that, and then one of the things when you buy meat from the market, except you're really specific about the kind of meat you want, which is pure red meat, they will mostly give you meat that has a bit of fat and all. So I'm taking my time, because mine does. I'm taking my time to carefully take it out until I have my pure beef. So you can see me separating it. Don't worry, I'll show you all the excess of the fat that will not be going into the food, because guys, we're trying to stay healthy as much as possible, so we want red meat. All of this excess fat is not what we need, right? All right, so you want to make sure you rinse your beef thoroughly, and then I didn't even tell you guys. So after this process, I marinated the meat. But guys, I lost the clip. I marinated the meat briefly. I'm gonna put all of the spices I used to marinate my meat. So I just added that to my meat, and then I set it aside. Now we're going to go ahead with our peppers. Now this is the style of the ingredient. These green bell peppers, largely the peppers you saw, that's literally what we'll be using to create this recipe. There is no tomatoes, there's no tatashe. All we use is these green peppers. These are not the green bell peppers, these are just green peppers, the big green peppers. Green pepper, I got this whole bunch of green peppers for 100 naira. I kid you not. Green peppers, we use some Scotch bonnet and some shumbo. So those are the only, okay, and then of course some onions. I didn't use fresh ginger and garlic because I was going to be using the powdered one. I added it into my marinade, my meat marinade, and I'll also be using it in my sauce. So I just get all of my peppers and onions all cleaned up and ready. Now the next process is, as you can see, our peppers are ready to get started. So the next process, now we're going to chop it, and you don't want to blend it, because we want a rough paste, or rather would I say we want a rough blend and not a smooth blend. But I don't have a food processor, and this is where our obonge grater comes into play. If you grew up in a Nigerian home, you should have had this, or at least if you graduated from a mortar. Of course, before Puchi mix blender came around, this was our Puchi mix blender. So this is what I'm going to be using. It actually gives you a coarse or rough result, and that's what I want for this recipe. So if you have, like I said, if you have a food processor, why not use that? Otherwise, this work wonders. You will just have to do a little bit of muscle work, which is good because we're all trying to keep healthy. So that's a bit of an exercise, right? Yeah. So go ahead and grate until you've exhausted everything. So let me take a break now. Like I said, I didn't even like doing voiceovers. I'll be back when we're done grating. Don't go anywhere. Are you still here? Alright, thank you for seeing through. So I chopped some extra sliced onion. You'll see what I want to do with it later on. So make sure you stick to the end to see. So in our pot, we're going to go in with some vegetable oil. I actually use this pot to make some sauce, and I have the leftover. I'll still be using it in this recipe, so stick around. So I'm just going to add a bit of oil, then go in with my sliced marinated beef. You notice the beef was marinated, but exactly like I said, I lost the clip. So, but don't worry, all the ingredients of all the spices I used will be added. Now by the side, I was cooking some white rice to go with this, and I added some green peas. If you know me, you know that green peas are my favorite vegetable, so I always add green peas to everything I can add. So yes, while our rice is cooking, at that point our rice was like 80 to 90% ready, so I just needed the peas to soften a little bit while it still retains its crunch. Now back to our chicken. Hey, am I craving chicken? What is this? Back to our beef. Frying. I didn't add anything to this beef. Any flavor you feel like you're seeing or you can perceive, you can perceive indeed. But yeah, it's from the marinade. So I let that fry until it was crispy and brown. I needed it to be like really crunchy and brown, because it will be staying inside the oil. So at least before it finishes, I still have a bit of crunch. If you don't fry it well enough, by the time it goes right into the oil and stays in there, it will begin to soften. So you see how brown it is. Oh god. And this literally cooked it 100%. And the flavors, guys, it was marinating for about an hour. The flavors, that's by the way. Then we're going to go back in with our grated onion. We're going to start with our grated onion. I'm going to fry this until it caramelizes, and it's as if you want to burn, but no, I just wanted to release all of its oil, all of its flavors too, into the oil. And while that is frying, I am there being happy because I will soon be eating with my budget friendly. If I tell you that I didn't spend up to 3,000 naira to create all of this, you'll be shocked at me, but I promise you I did not. Then we're gonna go in with our bell pepper mix. This has the green peppers, the shumbo, and that's chili peppers, cayenne pepper, and then the tatashi. Oh god, not the tatashi now, the Scotch bonnet peppers. Please pardon me, I added a little bit of oil because my oil was not enough. And for oil, for peppers, you need it to fry, guys. You need it to fry. It's okay when you're done, you can take out any excess oil, but this method needs oil to fry, otherwise it will be boiling or it will burn. So frying is not an exception. And so I started by seasoning. The only time I had seasoned was the chicken. Oh god, please someone send me chicken. Please someone say, I think this is beyond me. The only time I seasoned was when I was marinating my beef. So I'm still going to be using exactly the same ingredient I used for my marinade to spice up this recipe. I'm using some like I said, I'm going to add it in the caption, so let me not even stress. Abby added all of that, and then I began to stir. You can see my oil, right? That's what it's supposed to be, because that's what is going to be frying your peppers. And this recipe is all about frying. Your peppers has to fry. Now your pepper cannot burn, because once it burns, it changes the whole flavor of the food. But you see that frying, you can't escape it. So you can't move too far away from your pot. You need to let your peppers fry, and while you continuously stir, you will know it has really fried. You will just know, and nobody has to tell you. You will know. Stick around and you will know that you will know. So I went in with some salt to balance the taste, and then I stirred again. Now you can notice that these peppers, this mixture is coming together really well. There's nothing serious, so this is like the major thing. We're almost 90% done. But this peppers was looking a bit thick, and I know that even if it stays a little bit longer, it's gonna thicken more. So I went in with a little bit of water. I didn't have stock, so I just went in with a little bit of water just to loosen it a bit. That is it. and you can see that I've been consistently stirring. That's to tell you that you cannot lose guard. So I just added a little bit of water and then let that cook while I stir. Yeah. Now that you've added a bit of water, you want to check for seasoning. So I went ahead to add a little bit of seasoning cube. I added just one seasoning cube because I felt that was just all I needed, and then I stirred it around. Now you remember I told you I used the pot that to make it. I had some previously made sauce, so that was just what I added inside of it. Not compulsory, guys. I just had it, so I was like, instead of it to just be sitting around, why not I just added it? So that was exactly what I did. I added my sauce, and finally I went in with that fried beef, because why not? Look at this sauce. Look at this sauce. Can you see? It has totally fried. This is how you know that you don't ready. You get. I'm going to go in with that beef for final touch and add it in. Now with this, you know that with every scoop of the soup, or the sauce rather, you're having something crunchy to munch on. Isn't this just the best? And to think you can have all of this with less than 3, I can bet you can eat this for up to 3-4, because the soup is so oh, how will I say it, like, you know, they finish. It has quantity. Like, you can't eat too much of it. So just a little goes a long way because of how thick it is. Finally, you know, I added those sliced onions. I had onions lovers in the house, in the comments. Go around to the comment section right now and say hi. Let me know, my fellow onions lover. And if you're not an onion lover, I'm really sorry, but you can skip this. But that's all. We are finally done. Our dish has come together, ready to be served. So if you're enjoying this recipe, please do recreate this. Do give me a thumbs up. Make sure you come back for another amazing recipe, and let me know if you have something in mind you want me to create.